Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. All right, so coming to you today with the next lesson in the Introduction to Sales and Communications course. And this one is the three keys to any sales. All right, so the three keys of any sales or sale is that a buyer must know who you are. They must like who you are and they must trust who you are as a salesperson. But they also must know your product, you know, like your product and trust your product. And then the same is for the business or the company that stands behind it. So to understand this is just to understand that, we are always um, skeptical about things that we do not understand or know. So if I do not know you as a person or understand who you are, then there is going to always be a barrier of mistrust because there is a level of unpredictability. So, for example, we gain comfort from predictability. If every time I opened a door, okay, there was something completely new that I had never seen before, it would become highly stressful for me to open doors. So if I open a door and it's a cliff, or it's a fucking, 1,000 foot drop, or whatever it may be, or there's a raging fire on the other side of that door. Like, it creates stress because we're associating those doors now with stressful situations or with uncertain situations. So we got to understand that in life, okay, we find predictability to be comfortable and we find unpredictability to be stressful. So what we're trying to do in the sale is create as much comfort so we can lower the barriers of resistance. Okay, so it's very, very important that, we're building, a sort of matrix with a customer that they know who we are and what we stand for, that they like who we are and what we stand for, and that they trust who we are and what we stand for. And the same with the product. If people don't understand the features, the benefits, the challenges that the product or the service overcomes and the value that it provides, they do not understand it. So it is meaningless to them. So, but they also must like the features and benefits. Like, we have to understand that in society, in the human experience, we are all highly biased. There is no such thing as unbiased because it just doesn't exist. Everyone has personal prejudices that they create and build within everything. Scientists have it, even though scientists say that they're unbiased and it's all about the science. Doctors have it, even though they say that they're, healthcare workers and that they're unbiased and it's all about the medicine. It's all bullshit. Personal bias is the core of the human experience. Okay, and personal bias leads to trust. How do people get scammed? They trust under personal bias the wrong people. How do people get ripped off? How do this, that, and the other? So we have to understand that our personal bias are one of the ways that we form trust. And it's one of the ways that a low quality or a negative salesperson will manipulate to essentially, manipulate and control a client in a negative aspect. So what we're trying to do is on the subconscious level, through how we behave, through the congruency of who we are and how we explain ourselves, we're building high levels of trust by being able to relate to potential buyers, by being able to demonstrate, explain, and educate that buyer on all aspects so that they know who you are, so that they like who you are, so that they trust who you are, so that they know what your product does, so that they like what your product does, so that they trust what your product does. Like, it's irrelevant in sales to try and go around this. Okay. We do not listen to people that we do not trust. We do not do business with people that we do not like. It's like, for example, why would I take you out to dinner and on this amazing experience if I don't at the core like who you are or like who I perceive you to be? It's illogical. Why would I waste money on people that I do not like? So we just got to understand that in business, if I do not like you as a salesperson, if I do not like the product, just the image of the product, just the name of the product, just the price of the product, if I do not like the business, and it can be as simple as the color coding of the business or the company colors. If I do not like them, that's enough bias for me to not do business with you. So we just got to understand that in sales, it is 100% personal bias. There is no unbiased. There isn't. People will tell you all this bullshit that there is, and that it doesn't matter if you make relationships with your customers because, if you're the best of the best, they have to do business with you. No, that's bullshit. The best of the best are the ones that are known, liked, and trusted. So understand that these are the core fundamentals to winning sales, because without them, there is no sale, because people will just walk away. Because personal bias is the cornerstone for decision making. And people can argue till they're red in the face that this isn't true, and it's bullshit. So just understand that anyone that is trying to convince you that personal bias isn't the cornerstone of your decision making, and even if you try to tell me that as well, I'm going to call you out and say you're full of shit, because I know for a fact that personal bias is the most crucial part of sales. It doesn't matter how good your product is if people don't like you as a person. It doesn't matter how good your product is if people don't trust the company that's providing it. If I do not trust that your company is going to honor a return or a faulty product, why would I risk doing business with you, even if I like you as much as I can? Even if I trust you as a person, if I do not like and trust the company that you work for, then I am never going to do business with you as the salesperson. Now, you can argue and try and convince me, but why would I do that? That's going to put me in a negative spot. Our personal bias lead to what we believe as being positive and negative in life. So just understand that personal bias is the cornerstone of decision making, because personal bias can lead us to act against our best interests. And that's a key thing. So it's very, very important that we understand this, because this is the cornerstone of how we connect and relate to people on a deeper level, but on an interpersonal level. And that's the core of sales, is being able to communicate effectively and educate buyers so that they understand what you understand. They understand the product. They understand, you as a salesperson. They understand the company you work for. And it's about, how do we do that? How do we get people to know who we are? How do we get people to like who we are? How do we get people to trust who we are? How do we get people to know what our product does? How do we get people to like what our product does? How do we get people to trust what our product does? And there are many different ways or strategies that people say to doing this. For example, building trust, just show them that 1,000 people have purchased this product and they've been happy with it. Now, when we understand the psychological makeup of buyers and the different types of buyers, some buyers will put a heavy bias to others' validation of the product or service. Some people will put heavy bias to the performance of the business, company, and the staff. Some people will put personal bias to the mannerisms of the business, the company, the staff. Okay, so we just got to understand some people are focusing in on the product and its performance. Some people are focusing in on the company and its performance. Some people are focusing in on the interpersonal relationships that they develop with the staff members. Think about cafes. There are, thousands upon thousands of cafes in every one of the cities. Yet we all have our personal bias to where we like to go and get coffee from. Some people want to go to a cafe that's quiet and quick, where they can get a coffee easily. Some people want to go to a cafe that's trending and popular, and there's a redonkulous line, and they're overpaying for the product because it's on trend. Like decision making is not a rational or a logical thing, even though most people will try and argue that it is not. Because if it was, honestly, like 40 to 50% of businesses would be out of business because their businesses are not ethical or quality businesses. So that's an important thing to realize, is that our environment, the business environment, is proof that personal bias is an illogical and irrational thing. So just know this, and we're going to dive into it more deeply on the next lessons. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next lesson. Thanks so much. Bye.